Ladies and gentlemen, the Settle Down Podcast.
Settle down.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here. Good to be back. We've had a long hiatus here and there. Like I said, we were busy with summer and stuff. So Yaya's actually moved in with us now. It's us three living together. Zach is off in Irvine. Soldier. And yeah, we've had a pretty good summer so far. Definitely been working a lot. But yeah, coming up next, within the next couple of weeks, we'll have the interview in this, but we have two new people hosting our college football portion, or I guess its own show, really. Yeah, section.
Yeah.
Zooch and Diego, which they'll be on later. And then we'll also have Zach and Anthony. They'll be on later as well.
Covering that NFL.
Yep, they're going to be covering NFL, fantasy, all that fun stuff. Zooch and Diego's is very, I mean, you'll see it in the interview, but there's going to be interesting.
Some rabbit holes for sure.
Oh, yeah. If you're a big fan of college football, they're going to be your man.
They'll cover every inch.
They will. But yeah, Cody, how's your summer been? I know you've been, well, I've been with you, but tell us a little bit about your fishing adventures you've had these past couple of months.
Oh, well, it's been a pretty busy summer. I've been working a lot, but also fishing a lot as much as I can. Been trying to go out at least 2 or 3 times a week. Mostly fishing for catfish, and then every once in a while I'll go out and fish for some trout, and mostly use that trout for catfish. I've caught a lot of good ones. Tried a lot of different spots. Decided to make my TikTok and make a YouTube for my fishing content.
There it is on screen right now.
There's the first video I ever posted on my TikTok right there. Kind of just testing the waters a little bit, seeing what type of viewership I can get and see if anybody would be interested in more content. I've definitely gained a good amount of followers over the summer. I'm closing in, I think, on 350. And most of those followers have been from my fishing content, because I kind of just posted miscellaneous stuff before I kind of figured out that I wanted to do this a little bit more. But it's been a hell of a ride. Definitely some interesting days and interesting stories and trips and stuff. I recently caught my first flathead, which is this video right here. If anybody is in the Snake River area or Idaho area, knows about the elusive flatheads that live in there. Lot harder to target than the ordinary channel catfish, but I was able to get on one with another buddy from TikTok that took me out to the spot. Definitely a different type of fight than your normal channel catfish. If anybody is listening, or, well, not listening, but gonna be watching this video, knows that, the channel catfish, they like to head shake a little bit more and rock the rod a little bit more. With my experiences with flatheads, they take a little bit more of a dive and take a little bit more line. They're a lot of fun to catch. Definitely some interesting looking fish. But
there it is.
Yeah, so there's this video of it.
I love this video.
Can you guys hear it or no?
I cannot, but
I cannot. It's fine.
It's okay. It's a lot.
I'd rather not.
It's a lot just with the audio in that video.
Yeah.
But flatheads, they're a lot bigger. They get a lot bigger than channel catfish.
Oh yeah.
How big is that thing?
30 pounds?
That one's probably close to 30 pounds. A lot of people know that, flatheads get a lot bigger than that. They can, range up to, well over 100 pounds. The national record in the United States is 123 pounds, and it was caught in Kansas from a guy back in like 1980 something. And that record still holds. He caught it off a piece of shad in like 17-pound test, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, so been kind of going out as much as I can, trying to post as much content as I can. Definitely been doing pretty good on my YouTube shorts. Haven't been posting any long videos. I kind of want to figure out the editing before I kind of
Yeah.
post
No, I
one
think
of
it's
those
good
long-
like this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Especially
think
for
it's
shorts
kind of
and
good for
stuff.
now. Yeah. I think the shorts are good. I mean, you get a good amount of viewership. A few of my videos have reached over 2,000 views, and then one
Huge.
got over 1,000. And then some of them just, didn't really hit that algorithm, but I'm going to keep posting.
Consistent.
Yeah, I've been trying to, that's the biggest thing I think with the TikTok especially is trying to be consistent, just trying to hit that algorithm and get a lot of people to kind of view. And, I like it, it's fun. I get a lot of comments and asking where to fish and what to fish for, and, other species as well, so, I normally try to answer all my comments, and then I'll have people hit me up over messages asking where to fish and what to fish for. I'm not one of those guys that gatekeep spots. There's a lot of fishermen out there that don't really like to give up their spots, and
I was going to ask that actually.
which I understand.
Yeah.
For me, it's not really a big deal. I mean, at the end of the day, I catch and release. So most of the time, about 80% of the time, I'm catch and release, and every once in a while, I will keep some fish to throw in the fryer, or grill it up and
Cook it up.
some real good
Yeah.
food. But a lot of the
You
time,
also you have reached out to some people. If you could get into that a little bit. About what with your Instagram. So he was posting little like small backstory here. Cody's been posting on Instagram. It's been doing pretty well on there as well.
Mhm.
And then I think it was last weekend. He comes up to me, and you can take the rest.
Yeah. So I went out night fishing one night, and I came back, and it was pretty late. And I ended up giving up a login code to my Instagram, which was very unfortunate because it kind of put a halt on me posting on my reels, which I'm actually going to post probably a new video here of me and my buddy Scott and Allen. My buddy Scott got on a pretty good cat last night and made kind of a good video. So I'll definitely be posting that one. But yeah, I was hacked for a long time, and then I was able to get my account back, which was a very interesting process. A lot of people, I had to go through a bunch of messages. I had probably over 100 of people just asking me if this was the real you, all this type of stuff. I actually had, which I haven't told you guys, I actually have a guy from my football team when I played in community college hit me up, and he actually paid the hacker money. And he hit me up, and so I was very confused. I got to work today, and one of my teammates, to be honest with you, I don't give a shit if anybody sees this, whoever sees this, whatever, I'm just going to come out and flat out say it. I mean, I'm not going to say names or who it was, but one of my teammates, I gave up $150 to this hacker, which is a pretty good amount of change if you really think about it.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on. Why did he?
Dude.
Is that what the hacker asked him? Like pretending to be you? The hacker pretended to be Cody and asked this guy for $150.
Yeah. So today when I got to work, I went through my DMs, and I just get a message saying, "Where's my money, bruh?" And I was just like, I was very confused. So I was just like, okay, what's going on? So I went through all the messages, and there's like a whole chat log between this guy, but with my old teammate, and this so-called whatever fucking hacker.
Yep.
Hacker.
And this hacker obviously asked for money, and well, I mean, he was the only person out of the entire followers that I have that actually gave up money to this follower, or this hacker. And I didn't really understand why. I mean, everybody else seemed to just see the message and not really respond or ask, first if this was me, because I don't DM people. I don't ask people for money. I don't understand why he gave up money. I mean, I wouldn't go to him in the first place. If I really needed the money, I would go to probably my family or close friends before I would, hit up somebody that I haven't talked to in 3 years. I mean, he was
over
a really
Instagram
good
DMs.
Yeah, and he was a really good buddy of mine, and I fucks with him heavy. He was a good dude. But he ended up giving up $150, and I just get a message saying like, "Where's my money?" And I was just like, "What are you talking about?" And I sent like some laughing emojis because I thought he was fucking around. And he's just like, what are you talking about, man? Like, I went through the whole log. He was just like super pissed, like saying, you need to take out I don't care if you got to take out a loan or ask your family for money. I need my money, man. Like, I gave you this. He's like, I guess like we're not like, I can't believe you would do this to an old teammate like that. Like, your so-called teammate, you definitely are not. You're definitely going to get yours, all this fucking bullshit. And I was just like, I hit him up and I was just like, dude, this wasn't me. Like, I don't know what to fucking tell you. And he kind of just left it like very short. If I can I'll pull up the chat real quick. Yeah, I won't give out names, obviously, but
that's wild.
Basically, he was like, he texted me today at 11:35 a.m. I got into work at 11, and he's like, "Where's my money?" And I said, "I just got my account back. Bunch of bullshit. How you been, bro? It's been a minute." And he's like, "What the fuck do you mean, bro? You owe me 150." And I put laughing emojis because I thought he was joking. Most people came back saying, one guy of my followers like, "What do you mean, dude? I just sent $100 to," it said like Yao Ming 125 in China. Like, he was fucking around.
Yeah.
I thought it, and I put like laughing emojis, and he just says, "Just give me my money, bro." And I said, "Bro, I got hacked. That wasn't me. I just got my account back yesterday. Are you being serious? Did you actually send money to that person?" And he said, "Haha, I see, haha." And I said, "I'm just now seeing all these messages. Did you actually send them money? First of all, I don't DM anybody. Second of all, if you did send them money, you were the only follower that did. And third of all, I don't ask people for money. I don't DM people. Everybody that knows me knows that I send people random SpongeBob fucking memes, and that's it." And I said, why would I go to you for money? I would probably go to my family first. And I said, I would never do that to you, bro. Like, let alone anybody. Like, you were my bro. I fuck with you heavy, man. You were one of my closest boys from LMC. I mean, we played right next to each other. He was a really good dude. And I said, did you call your bank? All this stuff. I mean, if you call your bank, like, some people, even if they didn't have a problem, could call their bank and get money for probably free, because the bank really has no way of being like, oh, like, is this real or not? Like, I've known people that have just asked the bank saying, I need a refund because I got fucking money taken out of my account. And then I said, if you don't believe me, that's fine, man. I don't know what to tell you. I've been trying to get my account back. And my neighbor, back in Livermore, works for, hacked accounts. And, I don't want to end our friendship because something that was out of my control. If you don't want to believe me, man, that's fine. It's whatever. I'm not going to keep entertaining this because it wasn't my fault. And I said, have a good one, bro. I hope you and your family are good, whatever. And he sends me this.
That's like the perfect way to handle it, honestly.
I was like, dude, I was at work. Like, I'm not going to entertain this, bro. Like, if you got a fucking problem, like, fly up to Boise and we can fucking handle it. If you really want your $150 back, I don't give a fuck. And I literally said, and he's like, I don't know what to say. This isn't you, this Cash App. And he sends me this. I've never used Cash App before in my entire life. I used it one time 2 years ago for something that I'm not going to say on this chat.
Moving on.
You could have said you've never used it.
Yeah, whatever. We'll edit that part out. And
I'm leaving it.
Leave it.
I ended up deleting the app, and it literally, and the profile picture is literally, if I zoom in, it's literally a red Star Wars, Clone Wars, whatever the fucking what are those fucks that wear white that fight against the good guy? The stormtroopers. It's a red stormtrooper over this fucking guy wearing a gray hoodie and lighting a lighter. And it says effect. That's the username.
Anthony, why'd you hack him, man?
And it literally says 50, $150. And I said,
okay,
no, bro, I don't have Cash App. Never have had Cash App. And he's like, all right, bro. That's all he said. And I was like, I used Cash App once 2 years ago, and then I deleted it. That's not even my username. I've been sent hundreds of messages asking if it's me, and I've had to answer all these. I put it on my IG story that I said that I'm back. And then I literally said, let me know if you are able to call your bank and get your money back. All I can say is I'm sorry, bro, and I wish that didn't happen. And he didn't look at the message. At the end of the day, I don't really give a shit. It's out of my control. I didn't think anybody would.
Yeah, he's an idiot for fucking sending him money.
I really didn't think anybody was going to fall for that and actually send this person money.
I think everyone that have hit, like, people texted me and they were like, is Cody actually need money like this? Or like, what's like, most people put that together. I guess, I mean, that guy doesn't have any connections to us, but still, like, I had more than enough people that were like, what is this? And like, they knew that it was fake.
Some of Isabel's friends texted her and were like, why is Cody like talking about this? And she's like, it's not him. Do not
like
don't talk
I
to him."
don't
Yeah.
like I
Like-
don't even slide in the DMs like that. Anyways, I think that's I just kind of find
Yo,
that
what's
cringe-
good? Yeah, this guy.
Yo,
What's
He
good?
would
Like
say,
I just
"Yo," with
find that
two
kind of
O's.
cringy. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I don't do that. Like I don't
Yeah.
you know. And I had a bunch of people hit me up, and you know, I eventually got it back to all the messages, and then some people that I barely met, like, and some people that go way back to when I was in elementary school that, you know, was like, hey man, like, is this you? And I was just like, no, it's not me. You know, I just got my account back, yada, yada, yada. I didn't think anybody was gonna, you know, fall for that and send money to this so-called person. But I, you know, I can't control that. And
Yeah.
that's what I said to the guy. So I fell
did
for
you-
it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
will explain that. So I get back from fishing, and I've been messaged from millions of people that have been so-called hackers, and I always do the same thing. I normally fuck with them, and I leave it be. The account that hit me up, I won't give the name that got hacked, but it was another dude that I knew from high school that got hacked. And I get back, and it was like 5 a.m. I haven't slept in probably like close to like 30 hours. I mean, I'm exhausted, and I just start typing away like, oh yeah, I'll send you my number, no problem. And I send him my number, and then I get this text saying, hey, I need help getting back into my Instagram. I was like, oh, no problem. You know, like I didn't think anything of it. And then I send this login code. I get this link, and I click on it, and I get this code, and I literally like sat there, and I turned my brain on for a minute, and I was just like, holy fuck. I just gave this hacker my login code to get into my Instagram. I'm fucked. So I go to my Instagram, logged out, can't get in. So that was a whole process for like 5 or 6 days, and I was finally able to get it back. And you know, I had to do this whole fucking process to be able to get it back. But yeah, that was that. But as far as, you know, kind of going back to the fishing content, I'm gonna try to keep posting. I'm I think in the next few weeks I'm going out with another. Okay.
Going out with another guy.
I gotta stop doing it. I gotta stop saying that. I'm going fishing with another guy from TikTok.
Got it.
A little bit more trustworthy than from the so-called person that I won't name.
Anyways.
And so I think we're gonna be going out fishing here to trying to get on some more flatheads before the summer ends. I'm gonna go fishing tomorrow morning, see what I do. But just look out for it. Whoever listens to this, my YouTube and my TikTok is Whisker Fishing 208. If you see any of the videos, you know, give me a comment, you know, message me, you know, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'm gonna keep posting content. As it gets colder, I'm probably going to switch my fishing over to trout. I'm still going to try to catfish. It's a little bit harder in the state of Idaho when it gets a little bit colder, but I'll probably end up trying to switch over to some big trout.
Is that it? Whisker Fishing 208.
Yep, there
at the
it is.
bottom of your name.
I'm going to try to switch over to some trout, maybe some carp fishing, see if I can get on some casts this winter. So stay tuned. And yeah, let's get on to the next thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was I know you went on a couple trips. How's your summer been?
Good. So right after school got out, I went to Tahoe and I visited one of my best friends, Tyler, for his 22nd birthday, and we gambled for the first time, or I gambled for the first time, and I won $500 in Tahoe. So that was kind of lit. Did that, and then I just worked a bunch, and then my birthday happened. God, what the fuck did we do for my birthday? We went to a concert. We went to.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Who do we
Randy
go
Hauser.
to? I literally forget every single time.
It was Randy Hauser.
Randy
That's
Hauser.
right, dude.
God
Somebody was
doesn't
asking me
remember it.
what concert that was, and I was like,
other
I
one.
couldn't tell you. I was fucking hammered and went to Sherry's to get a fucking burger.
I got 2 songs into that concert and I left because well, I just had I just came back from Nashville like literally the day before. So
That's right.
I was on day 8 of pretty much day 8 of drinking, and it was bad. But yeah, I went to the NHL draft. That was a lot of fun. Met some cool people. Yeah, we talked to what is it? We were at the draft. We're not at the draft. I was outside the draft. I got to see Connor Bedard and everyone. It was pretty cool. Then yeah, we're at Aldean's and I see Biz and Wit from Spit and Chicklets, and I was like, holy shit, gotta get a picture with them. And
Yeah.
sure enough, RA's there, and I'm like drinking with him. I bought him a drink. He was talking like he was like Riley Kafka. Same character. I think he is the same. Like when they're both drunk, like RA is who I could see Riley being in the future.
That's funny.
When he's drunk. Just the way they were talking, it was hilarious. But yeah, I talked to Mike Grinnell, who's the producer of Spit and Chicklets. Then he introduced me to some other guys, Johnny Lazarus and the Power Brothers, who run Empty Netters. Their podcast is Friday Beers Hockey One. They gave me a bunch of tips for this. This is why we're on StreamYard now, using this for this new stuff. But yeah, it was honestly a lot of fun. But yeah, came back. That was kind of the big thing this summer that I did. Yeah, came back, saw 2 songs of Randy Houser, and I was like, you know what? I'm done.
It was so hot in there, though. It was.
Yeah,
It was cooking, dude.
It was cooking.
I was wearing a cutoff, and I was fucking cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we went to the
home,
concert
awesome.
for my birthday, which was fun, and then I actually quit Tin Roof. I got a new job.
Oh yeah.
I'm working downtown at Park Boy, so if you come through, I'll
if you
give
see
you free
'em.
parking, gang shit.
I'm gonna need that.
And then we went to. So my best friend's getting married, Parker Waite, and so we went to his bachelor party, the second to last weekend in July, and we just went to the cabin, went on the boat, surfed for the first time, was able to get up, so that was fun, like wake surfing, and then we went shooting and stuff because he had a new AR, so we were shooting that out there in the woods, which was cool. It was different than like going to a range. It was cool to just be like in the wilderness, like we were like shooting bottles and shit, and like it was just like very real.
Yeah.
And it was different than going to a range, I feel like. But we did that, and then I went to North Carolina for a week, and we went to see my uncle, who I haven't seen in like 16 years, something like that, like a long time. I met cousins that I haven't met before, who are like in high school. So I really got to connect with like the other side of my family that I haven't seen in a really
Is
long
that
time.
mom or dad's side?
Mom. It's my mom's brother. But what's cool is he works for the government, and he is the main mechanic for Marine One. So he builds the engine for the helicopter in which the president flies in.
Wow.
And
that's pretty cool.
That's dope.
so he was telling me about some of this shit that like he's seen, as much as he was willing to tell and can tell, because his security clearance is, it goes the people in the Pentagon, the people in the White House, and then him. He is like the almost to the top level of like security clearance within the military. And what's cool is he was able to work from home because of his laptop. And they have these special laptops where you have to do a thumbprint, a face ID, a password, and then once you do your password, it has to be put in within 30 seconds. And if you fail it twice, it will alarm, and the military police will come to your house within the minute. Wow. Like top secret shit.
Has it ever happened? Probably not.
He hasn't done it. He hasn't done it yet. But
he reached that 29 seconds, though. I promise you. He's like,
they'll be there. Yeah. But he's also like done it a million times. So it's like you put in your password to your computer and you're like in.
That's fair. Yeah.
But he said if you do your password backwards, it'll completely erase the computer and brick it. Like everything gone.
That's cool.
And
so if someone's got him like to like try to hack into it and like they're like put in your password, and that's cool.
Well, the thing is like if people are trying to get to him, it's like it's some serious shit, because like he writes all the protocols for the engines. So like when the engine has a problem, the list of things to do, he wrote that list. Does that make sense? So he has a lot of like specs of like how Marine One works, and so it's like a lot of cool shit. But I don't know, he's telling me a lot of cool stories and stuff. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell, but I might. Anyways,
tell it and then we can cut it out.
I don't give a fuck. One time, so he was stationed in London for 6 years. I think he did like a double deployment or some shit. He was there for a while. The CIA came to his barracks and picked him up. They said, "We need you to come fix this F-15," because that's what he used to specialize in before Marine One.
Yeah.
He said, "We need to fix it," and he's like, "Okay, where is it? Like, where? How are we getting there? Blah blah." And they're like, "You don't need to know that. Just dead
Yes,
face.
sir.
You don't need to know that."
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You're
Okay.
just coming
They were
with
like,
us and that's it.
they're like,
No
get on the
questions
plane.
asked.
Get on the plane. Grab your tools. Don't ask questions. Don't look out the window. That's what he said. So they fly for a couple hours and they land, and it's like the dead of night, and it's like smoky as shit, like foggy, just like a literal Call of Duty mission type thing. And he said he gets off the plane, and the guy goes, "There will be a flashlight across the runway. Walk in a straight line to that. Do not look anywhere, and walk to the flashlight." So he did exactly that. Just walks right to it, and they come up to this hangar, this like a wooden hangar. It was literally like the scene from Top Gun where they run across the runway and then go to the hangar with the F-15. Same shit.
Mhm.
So he goes there and he's like, it's fixing it up, blah blah blah. The pilot's there, and they can't see anything. And he starts like looking around, and he sees letters. Some of them, like the K was written backwards, the C was backwards, or something like that. The only thing that he could think of was it was Russian.
Oh.
It was a Russian flag. And so he fixed up the plane, and they get it out, and they finally take off without anybody knowing. And then they get there and they land, and the pilot that was flying it was like couldn't control it, and so they had to crash land into the runway there in London, and they all made it home safe and all that stuff. And he started like asking questions like where'd we go and all that stuff, and they were like, you don't get to know that. And the only what he figured out later is he asked one of his buddies like, what are the backwards K and the C and all that, it was in Russia. So they flew to Russia to fix this plane and then covertly fly it back.
Oh.
And then he was like not allowed to like say anything.
Yeah.
And that was just like one of like those stories that he told me. I was just like in awe. Like it's just some shit like you'd see in a movie. Like
Yeah.
it was cool. And then he also showed me my great grandpa's 44 Magnum, because
Mhm.
he was a state patrol officer in the state of Arizona. He was actually the second one ever. And my great grandpa's badge number is the same number as the serial number on the gun, the exact same. And so he showed it to me. It's like in his box, and had like his badge and his name tag and like all this shit. And it was cool because like I have some like memorabilia from him. We call him Pa. And so like I had a 30-30. My dad has one of his old shotguns. I have his belt buckle. So like we have like a lot of stuff. And so it was cool to see that box and like that
Mhm.
family history. So
Yeah.
it was cool. It was a good trip. But then we came back, and then I moved into here. I'm in Zach's old room, but it's been hell of a ride to live here now, and been hella
Yeah.
fun. So
Yeah. No,
I
we're
don't know,
excited.
just starting a new job, just chilling.
Yep.
But it's fun.
Finishing school. You have
Yep.
what, in December graduate?
Yep. I'm graduating in December.
Cool.
I'm ready to be done.
Oh yeah. Oh
Let's
yeah.
make it happen. One last
Yeah.
semester.
Yep. Almost done. We got some fun stuff coming up. We've got the mecca of all sports, college football, coming back.
Oh yeah. I'm
Mhm.
pumped.
I'm
I'm
biased
excited.
here, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and cut to our interview with Zooch and Diego. It's a fun one. Kind of get a little taste of what they're gonna be talking about, and everything like that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. So we are here now with Zooch and Diego, and our new two additions to our family, I guess you could say. But yeah, me, I guess, yeah. We all went to college together, or have been friends since, I don't know, me and Diego freshman year, and even Zooch pretty early. But they're going to be taking over the college football side of things, and they have a lot of stuff that we're excited that they can bring to the table. And I think it's going to be a fun show, I think. But yeah, what do you guys think as far as everything that just happened with all the news of the new, what's it called? Conferences? Yeah, the realignment. Like, what's your initial thought of that? One of you?
My initial thought is that someone's got to do a wellness check on Bill Walton, because yeah, that guy's not doing too hot right now. I mean, it's complicated, as Zuch says. He's Zooch is more in tune with this world than I am, being a West Coast college football fan. Zooch being from the South and kind of being ingrained in that kind of big football money talks culture for a while. That I think he expected it more than I did. But it's very interesting. There's the pros and the cons and everything in between. And Cal just stinking it up as always. So that's my thoughts on it. At least just initial spitballing. But no,
Yeah.
excited to be able to finally have an outlet to talk college football. Been
College
looking
football,
for this
yeah.
for a while.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
excited.
we have a group chat, all of us, and these Zooch and Diego both pretty much talk in that chat. Probably I would say 80% of the time, and they're like I sometimes I don't even know how to join the conversation with the stuff that they're talking about, just because it's so like niche to. I guess them. I don't know. Yeah, how you guys?
It's kind of you have to almost be a weirdo to know.
Yeah.
Some of the like it's. I don't think who are we talking? Taylor Kelly earlier today we were talking about, and like I just remember that name just from like, even if I was watching a game like at my apartment during school or out at the bars, I just remember him vividly being on ESPN2 like every week for like 3 years, and never having any only rushing. He'd be like 5 of 15 passing for 80 yards and 174 rushing yards. But as far as their realignment stuff, I don't know how it's going to work in the Big Ten. The SEC didn't really change all that much. Like the schools, I feel like the SEC added Texas and Oklahoma.
Those made sense.
Make a lot of sense. Like, yeah, they're not in the East really, but like for the Big Ten ones, you have Oregon, UCLA, Washington, USC. I'm guessing that are they doing divisions or are they keeping their? Are they going like pods and like? But that's going to take away, in my opinion, like it's kind of. It used to be kind of easy, like to go like pick one game a year to go to. Like, oh, we're Michigan fans. Let's go to Northwestern this year. Next year we'll go to Minnesota. It's a lot harder, I feel like, to go to Eugene, Oregon in a weekend trip than it is. And college football is always, I know it starts in like early September, but that's still kind of the time of the year I feel like people are saving money for like the holidays or Thanksgiving. They have to go on a trip, stuff like that. True. So I don't know. I don't love the realignment stuff. I get it. But if teams would just play each other instead of playing like FCS opponents week one, you wouldn't need to do all this. But it's really not even about that. It's about money and each network. Like ABC wants to have basically games they can show all day long now because ACC has a Big 12, right?
Big 12's
or
on
not ACC.
Fox. Big 12's Fox.
Big 12's going to be Fox. So Fox will now have the early game they can show at like 10 in the morning. They'll put a big afternoon game. And
I can't wait to watch Urban Meyer and his color-changing sunglasses that he wears. You know, the real thin ones. You know those ones? Our boy Urban. If you're a fan, I will say, if you're a fan of people talking about Urban Meyer, you're going to like me and Zooch talking. This guy is a freak that I can't get enough of, man. This guy.
He will drop something about Deion Sanders not being a good coach because he got rid of all those guys at Colorado, and I cannot wait for that moment when he had like a murderer basically on his team.
Yeah, he did. That's funny. One of my biggest things. So Zach, with your background of like just on the football team. So Zach, if anyone's listened, we've had him on before, but he used to work for Boise State football team. Was it film coordinator or film director? What was it?
I was just a student. Film was like my title.
Yeah. How do you think would happen? What's Oregon going to do when they play Maryland? Do you think they're going to go Thursday, or like, do you think they're going to go a couple days earlier when they have to fly across the country?
So a lot of that kind of depends on the time of the game. If that game's at noon, I would say the latest they would leave is Thursday. They probably leave Wednesday because you have to. They have enough money that they might fly to. I don't even know if there's an airport in Eugene or not, but if there is, I imagine they charter a plate. There is.
It's a smaller airport, but there is. I know a friend. He goes to U of O, and it's like very much smaller, kind of like the Fresno airport, but it's there.
Okay. So yeah, they'll charter. Like when we played UConn, that game was like 10 in the morning East Coast time, so it was like 8 in the morning or 7 in the morning our time, whatever it was. Maybe it was a little later than that, but they left Wednesday, I think, because you're basically spending at least half a day flying, getting out there. You have to bring all this stuff. That's another thing. Is like their equipment people, like each game, that equipment, like you can't fly the equipment. So those big trucks you see, there's drivers for that. So like those guys, I would think basically are gonna, if there's an away game the week before, are gonna get back and then start driving immediately in that semi truck all the way from Eugene to where's College Park, Maryland? Is that where they play?
You know, I didn't even think about that, because I know for like Boise, it's kind of hell to even get down to like San Diego with those trucks. I didn't even think about the equipment side of things.
Well, there'd be
Just wait till Rutgers goes and plays at Oregon.
Oh no, I'll be waiting for that. I'm recording that one. That's I can't wait to watch like Greg Schiano say something about like, oh, they're gonna be ready for some Big Ten bully football, and then lose like 35 to like 14, with like Oregon scoring half of their points on like 80-yard touchdown passes.
Because Rutgers has never seen a guy who's ran track before unless Ohio State or Michigan.
Yeah, Rutgers has never seen a bubble screen before.
I also wonder if Oregon would even play Maryland, like if they have the schedule.
Because I mean they would have to now, because unless they do, because the Big Ten has 18 teams now. So if they keep divisions, all 4 of those Pac-12 teams are going to be in the Big Ten West. I wish they had kept Leaders and Legends. That's what it originally was called. But you would have to switch off basically every team, like SEC, for example. Like this year, Ole Miss plays at Georgia. Next year, Georgia they get rid of divisions next year, actually, in the SEC. But it would be like normally Ole Miss plays at Georgia this year. Next year, Georgia plays at Ole Miss. And then the following year, they would have Tennessee or Florida or whoever. That normally
LSU did the same thing with Florida.
Yeah, so and then like Florida always played like LSU, and I think that was the only. I think each team had like one team from the West that they would always, or one team from the other division that they would always.
Because Alabama would be against.
But I don't. Yeah, Alabama would be Tennessee. Ole Miss always played Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
but I don't.
I think I saw something for the updated Big 12 where it was like kind of like games are protected. So TCU, for example, their Baylor game's protected. I would assume when Oregon joins the Big Ten, they could adapt the model of, okay, your Washington game is protected. As like kind of like your rivalry game.
Your USC game's protected.
Yeah, UCLA and USC have their games protected. Yeah, probably since they're all on the West Coast, those are your protected games. And then a school like Maryland, maybe you play once every 3 years, once every 4 years, and if you alternate. Yeah. But then that's where the kind of con in this whole conference realignment thing is, where it becomes the NFL. You know, I'm a Niner fan. The Niners don't play the Patriots every like year. Yeah. So and like I guess it's cool when they play, but I like seeing the Niners play like my division rivals every year. So I think
with 18 teams, like they're not going to be able to all play each other necessarily. So I think honestly we could see that where they would only play if they made it to the championship, or
they'll probably play.
That's what we will see. That's what we will see. Yeah. Is you'll see a team like, you know, Michigan. Let's say Michigan wins like their division, and then like UCLA for some reason, in 5 years if they win their division, like they could play each other, right? And those two teams, like they could have gone 2 years without playing, and now they're playing in like the Big Ten championship. It'd just be it's weird. And then, like in UCLA, like are they still gonna have the Big Ten championship in Indianapolis? Like
that's what I was wondering.
There's so many of these like little things, like where's the basketball tournament going to be held? Yeah, this conference realignment thing, it gets so intricate. All I know is that Pat Fitzgerald doesn't get to be a part of it, and you know, sucks for you, man, Shrek mask boy. But not sometimes the Shrek mask just like putting it on and bullying people, 90s style. So either way, I mean, it's gonna be college football. You know, I don't know where I saw this on Twitter. I was listening on another podcast somewhere, so I can't take credit for this viewpoint, but I 100% agree with it. People are acting like, oh my gosh, college football is in shambles right now. It's crazy. And I don't know what podcast it's on. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get it. It might have been on PMT, I think, but so I'm not gonna take credit for that. But it's a great quote, and it's like people say like college football's always been in shambles, and people say college football is in shambles right now. It's like this is a sport that 25 years ago 3 national champions were crowned.
Right.
Like college football's always been changing it in shambles. That's the beauty of this sport, and it's so chaotic. You have 18-year-olds with millions of dollars of admissions revenue and bowl games on their back, riding on a kid who probably has a B- in business 101 right now. Like that's the beauty of college sports, is that it's so chaotic. I mean, I try to look at this whole conference realignment with like rose-colored glasses. Like, yes, I am bummed out, but there is going to be some awesome matchups we do get out of it.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of it too is just how much like television has grown too, because when I first started watching football in like the early 2000s, if you weren't on, I don't even remember Fox really having college. I think Fox got college football back pretty recently, but if you weren't on ABC, CBS, Notre Dame always had NBC, so you can basically take that one off, and or one of ESPN or ESPN.
Yeah, watch Charlie Weiss's fat ass.
Yeah, exactly. And then like I remember like TBS or something, like Turner Sports used to have games, but now there's not. I can't really think of many teams who aren't. You can't watch the game like pretty much every week on in some way or the other. There's like Fox Sports 2 now, which I get a lot of people don't have that, but with all of these, it might be Fox Sports 2, but these companies need teams to put on there, pay for the cost of the production. Like there's not really the announcers are worth, but there's not a ton of like difference in production from Fox Sports 2 to Fox or
it's crazy.
whatever.
I
Like,
mean, you even
and
watch
even ESPN Plus now. Like it's
I'm about to say FCS games.
Yeah, it's on every like it's a set like Saturday. There's like I said, you used to be able to like the games you got was the games you got, but now you can basically watch anyone anywhere, which is why I do feel bad, I guess, for Washington State and Oregon State, but they're kind of in the same deal we are, where they haven't been successful really recently. We have been decently successful, but we're still not like adding us is not better than adding the entire state of Arizona. Arizona State's huge. There's a ton of people that go there. U of A is also, I think U of A has a pretty big student enrollment. That's like a destination. Like you can get your buddies to go there and go golfing like all over the place.
It's also better to go to Tucson in December than it is to go to Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and
I get like Tucson
Pullman.
in September. Tucson in September, that seems aggressive. Tucson, I got some buddies who go to U of A, and Tucson, like ASU games will be super cool because you'd be in Phoenix. Tucson, it's an interesting place from what I hear. I think what's the word that was used when they were describing Tucson, my friends? Favela. I think favela might have been the term.
And that one too.
To describe
Arizona, if you like look that map you just brought up, Arizona and the Big 12, like I grew up and like I'll always kind of think of them as a Pac-12 school, but them being in the Big 12 isn't to me a huge like that's not a huge change for them. Yeah, they'll have to go to like UCF, but
to me that's how like Texas and
I do feel
Oklahoma
bad that New
is.
Mexico is like right in the middle and just completely jumped them.
Yeah.
So people are still going to watch college. College football is not going to die. It has grown so much that I mean, there's like 17 different ways to watch the national championship game now. You can watch Manning Brothers cast, Pat McAfee cast, the regular cast. It's on like ABC and ESPN at the same time. So they want the bang for their buck. I don't think like if USC and Michigan both play each other and that's the first game of the year, they could have both been 3-9 the year before. That's going to get a huge rating and it's going to be sold out and all that stuff. So,
Yeah, I agree.
and I love Boise State, but those schools to me bring more. They make
bring more
sense.
sports.
Yeah, they bring more sports. They're
What I
a
think
bigger school.
people fail to realize is this isn't just a college football thing. It's affecting all of the sports.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I felt like college football should be its own thing. You should have your own conference aside from whatever. If you want to realign somewhere else football-wise, you should. But I think you shouldn't take away from even basketball, men's and women's, baseball for most schools. Like you think about like the smaller sports, like swimming and fucking softball and like shit like that. Like that affects it affects more people than I feel like people are understanding.
Ryan, if they were to leave, and I don't know the exact rules of this, but if they were to leave the NCAA, what holds the football programs from paying for all of those other programs? Because like I read an article the other day about us. What it was. The football team, it was like 2021. The football team made like $7.1 million in profit. Basketball made, I think, like $900,000 or something like that. And every other program lost money.
For Boise State?
Boise State. So
it's pretty consistent with the rest of the nation too. I mean, minus a couple schools that have kind of these unicorn programs, maybe LSU baseball or Iowa wrestling,
UConn basketball.
Oh yeah, UConn women's basketball, like kind of these unicorn programs that kind of make money when generally they don't. It's usually the men's basketball team breaking even or making a little bit of profit, and the football team covering the rest.
Yeah.
Speaking of
how's that
realignment, I do think if this stuff doesn't end, everyone's kind of saying the ACC is going to be done. I don't think they are, because if the SEC came in and took Florida State and Clemson, or Florida State, Clemson, and Miami, they still would have North Carolina, Duke, Louisville, NC State, and I think they would go and add UConn just because of their basketball program, and they have Syracuse. So I don't.
Would they add Eastern Carolina too, or East Carolina?
Why would they add East Carolina? Doesn't have anything to do with those programs in basketball.
Oh, you're thinking basketball?
Yeah, I'm saying if they rated their good football programs, I think the ACC would still be fine, because they basically have every good basketball program outside of Kansas and UCLA, out of like the Blue Bloods, I guess.
And there's a lot of, I mean, that's why, like, kind of like the sicko in college sports fans, like this, there is, when I view at conference realignment through those rose-colored glasses, one of the rose-colored things is, I hate to totally flip topics, but the Big 12 basketball, I know it's going to be a college football podcast, but Big 12 basketball, my God, that is going to be so much fun. Texas Tech playing Arizona. Like, I mean, you're going to have BYU, when's the last time BYU had a good basketball program, having to play like Baylor in a full court press in the middle of Waco on like a packed Friday night? Those kids are going to like freak out. Like Utah, when's the last time Utah had a good, like, I don't know. But conference realignment, I'm excited. I'm sad. I'm scared for
my thing
Boise
with the
State. All in the same time.
My thing with the realignment thing is, it's not like these teams were, like, when was the last time Miami played Florida? Because when I first started watching Florida, they would play Miami, Florida, Florida State, no matter what, played every year. Notre Dame played Michigan every single year, no matter what. Like, there's very few of those, I feel like, that, like, everyone is freaking out about these traditional rivalries. Like, I don't put Washington State in the same. I don't even put that one as, or Oregon State with Miami and Florida, because I'm sorry, those four schools have all had. Yeah, Oregon's been pretty good, but the other three have had like one or two good years combined in their history. Like Miami and Florida used to be Miami, Florida, Florida State.
Did you see about Oregon State? Oh my God, I can't find the exact year. Sean, can you look this up?
Yep.
I think they had 28 seasons of losing football. Please
They
tell me
were
I'm right.
horrible till that guy Mike Riley
Please.
got there.
Please
Who is
tell
this?
me I'm right. I think they
I
had
was
20.
Oregon State.
Oregon State, I think, had 28 straight years of losing football. I'm surprised they didn't cancel football. There's so many of those schools. I mean, just around me in the Bay Area, Sonoma State has canceled football. Humboldt State canceled football. Like,
Is it basketball?
No, this was
Oregon
that's
State football. Oregon State
They were
football.
horrible until Mike Riley got there, and then even after he got there, they were okay. They like beat USC once, but
Okay, so Oregon State football lost starting 1971 until 1998.
yeah, it was when
I'm
Mike
surprised
Riley.
they didn't cut. I'm literally surprised they didn't cut football because that was like heart of like Title IX, like sports getting cut left and right. Like that blows my mind. Like that they didn't cut football.
Well, have you seen the freaks on that are Boise State fans who are like, I'm only watching football that affects BSC or on the West Coast. So I was like,
I have seen the exact tweet you're talking about, and I will spare that username, but I know the exact tweet.
I was
you're
like
talking
thinking,
about.
I was like, bro, in a year, are you just gonna watch our games and Oregon State and Washington? That's all you have. That's what you're basically saying. Because if you're not gonna watch the 4 that went to the Big 12, then you're not, or the Big 10, and you're not watching anything in the SEC or ACC. Obviously, who the hell are you gonna watch?
Apparently, he's
It doesn't
just
even make
watching.
any sense.
Apparently, he's just gonna be watching YouTube
Mountain West
clips.
football.
Yeah. He's only watching Mountain West. He just loves. Can't get enough of
Fresno State, San Jose State.
Fresno State, San Jose State. What's San Jose State? Do they still have only half their stadium? Are they doing renovations? Man, San Jose State. You know, that is I'm gonna save my opinion on San Jose State for another episode.
Okay,
That's another subject. But I like the idea of like this podcast. You know, maybe not being and I know Zooch could have opinions on this too, and we're just kind of spitballing right now. But I like the idea of it. You know, if you want to follow like the main storylines of college football, that's great. Like we'll touch on that. But like we're gonna get pretty deep into some, like Yaya said, some sicko shit.
No, do it.
This
I
is
agree.
for the
That's more
person
fun.
that this is for the person that you know is already the casual fan, already watches a game or two on Saturdays. You know, already kind of knows what's going on.
Already watched
you know-
the Pac-12 Stanford versus
Yeah,
Cal
and
game at
you know when
9:50
they
here in
hear
Boise
me
time.
saying like Zach Maynard throwing touchdowns in AT&T Park, like yeah, like that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. And I think if we break it down like a little bit of like national headlines, but mainly like sicko shit with like some BSU/Mountain West stuff.
All right. Yeah, Zeus and Diego, look out for their episodes coming up soon. I don't think they're going to be recording as of right now what we're recording. Same time. It might all come out at the same week. I'm not sure yet how our schedules will be. But I do want to get your guys' thoughts on the future of Boise State football since we are here in Boise right now. Cody, I'll pull up the roster here, but I'm curious to think what you guys think of how the season's going to go.
Sure. Well, I mean, kind of, you know, just going back from, you know, the past few seasons, I feel like it's been kind of a very, I wouldn't necessarily say disappointing, but kind of underwhelming, to say the least. We just haven't really been able to get it done in the big games. You know, with the Mountain West, last year we lost to, who was it? San Diego State, or was it?
No, we beat them.
Did we win? We didn't win the Mountain West though.
We lost to Fresno State.
That's right, Fresno State.
That's
I was
right.
about to say Fresno State. Yeah. Kind of been just, you know, very underwhelming. You know, just kind of watching these games live. It's been very kind of very difficult at times, as some Boise State fans know. You know, we recently have hired a new head coach, and this is his season was how many seasons has he gone under his belt? This is number 3.
This will be his 3. Yeah, this will be
third
number
year.
3.
Yes. So last season, I believe
Oregon
this
State.
is last season.
Yeah,
We
this is.
opened up in Corvallis against Oregon State. I remember watching that game at our local little dive bar. Pretty disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. It was a very tough game to watch. It seems like in a lot of our, our opening games, our preseason games, we're playing a little bit more of a tougher team.
No first half points for us in that game.
And, that makes, 100% a lot of sense right there. We've been very, very bad at scoring points in the first half or not scoring points in the second half. I feel like sometimes we'll come out the gate really, really good on offense, and then we'll just be, sleeping like an old man in the second half. The UTEP game was a tough one because that game right there, I feel like we should have just came out the gate in that first quarter and should have
kicked their ass 2 years ago.
Yeah, and that's the issue is just like we, the problem is that, like I said before, sometimes we come out the gate really slow, and just kind of looking at the score with UTEP. I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't be putting up points in the first quarter. It's very ridiculous.
That was embarrassing.
I mean, only beating them by the score that we did is not anything impressive, especially going against UTEP. I mean, they're a horrible football team. And it's just it's embarrassing. But kind of going in, looking at the other games, I mean, we came out won the next three. The Air Force game was a little bit more close than my liking. I do remember a few years ago we played Air Force at home and we lost. I think the biggest difficulty with me, watching our defense is we have a big problem with stopping the run. I believe that we gave up 227 yards on the ground against Air Force 2 years ago. I don't know what it was last year. I'm sure it was, I wouldn't say similar, maybe similar. But Air Force is a run heavy football team. They don't really like to pass. They do like to run the fucking football. So I think what was that?
175 total.
Yards, 175 yards. That's not nearly as much as they put up 2 years ago, but it's still not great.
They didn't do shit in the air.
Yeah, they didn't do shit in the air. They don't have really a lot of guys, for that. Their offense is not really designed to throw the ball.
Yeah.
They like to run the ball. You got to kind of give it to Air Force here the last few years. They kept it close, last year, 2 years they won. They like to run the football, and that's the one thing that I think we struggled with
last year when they played them. Wasn't that like hella cold and like snow?
It was cold, but I don't believe
it was cold. I don't think it was snowing.
I remember watching the game. It was not.
Click on that game thing. It shows the weather. Click on that box.
This is last year's game. Not
I'm saying last year.
Is that what you're talking about?
No,
yeah, this is in Air Force.
I
think it was snowy.
Was it snowing? I don't really know.
Okay. Cool.
Go back. Click the box score on whatever that was.
Yeah, the box score should show us what
you pulled it up on the Oregon State one.
Yeah, box score. There we go.
Should show us the temperature at kickoff.
It says sunny.
There it
Go
is.
down.
Oh well,
the words.
Maybe it was
sunny.
Weird. I don't know.
Half time 5.
Yeah, maybe
I think
it was,
2 years ago when they played here. I know that game was cold because that was
cold.
That was like
we went to that.
Yeah, it was a chilly game. I had a few friends that were visiting, and they were like, "Holy shit, it's fucking cold." I was like, "Well, yeah. I mean, around kind of that time of year, it's gonna get a little bit chilly. Not as cold as the later months, but
So, Sean,
kind of.
what are your thoughts on the season?
I think with us coming up this year, like Cody said, this is Andy Avalos' third year. I think I want to give a coach, especially where we're at and where we were at with Coach Harsin. I want to give Andy. This has got to be a good year. I mean, it's hard. BSU, we've been blessed with a lot of good football, and even last year, we were looking at the record right now. We were 10-0, 8-0 in the conference. Like, we lost our championship game against Fresno State. We lost 16-28. We beat Fresno State that year.
They didn't have Jake
40-20.
We did.
Yeah, they didn't have
Jake Hanner. Jake Hanner was not in that game when we played him at home.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he was in the championship.
He was.
And that's
Mhm.
clearly
Jake Hanner,
big.
I played him in
Yeah.
high school. That guy fucking lit
Did
up
you?
the scoreboard against us. Yep. He was unbelievable. I mean, when he went to UW, he kind of just sat on the depth chart. I think he was at third. Wasn't getting a lot of playing time. Went over to Fresno State, which I think it was a better fit for him, and he's been kind of killing it. So I don't know if I don't think he's coming back. I think he already graduated. I think
He got drafted.
last year was his last season. I don't know who he's playing for now.
The Saints.
Not really sure. Yeah, the Saints. I mean, you got Jameis Winston and Derek Carr, so good luck with that one. But I wish him the best. I mean, he was a good quarterback in high school, and he had kind of a rough road with the whole college football.
with the
But
Saints.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I think, like I said, Andy Avalos has to. He's got to get us into a good bowl game at least. I mean, again, 8-0 in the conference, like it's hard to complain about that.
Yeah.
And again, like his first year, that was a bad year. I also think it's hard. Like you give a coach, like it was basically that was Harson's team. Like he didn't recruit anyone. This year
Yeah.
we've got Deshaun Misa. We've already talked about him
Mhm.
a while.
4-star.
It's a 4-star.
Eastside
He's a great.
Catholic.
Yep. So I don't know. I'm excited. I think. Let's see. What is our schedule this year? I know. Well, we play first game Washington, right?
At UW.
That game. I think this is what my prediction is for these games. I think that we're gonna beat Washington. We're gonna beat UW, and we're gonna lose to UCF. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna start out hot, and then we're gonna just crumble.
That is a
That's
hot
just what I
game.
see. That's like BSU. What I've known, like within the past couple of years, seasons watching them is like, we'll have a great season, start off, and then just kind of like start to derail. I think this one's going to be a little bit sooner, and I don't know. I can totally see that happening where we have a great game against UW and we're like riding hot, and then we come into UCF or UCF comes to us and a team. I guess we lost to 2 years ago.
I think
That was
the
That
opposite.
was a rough game to watch.
I think
Well,
the
yeah, the
opposite in
opposite.
that because
I gotta agree with you on that one.
I think we lose to UW. I think it's close. We lose a close game to UW. Then we run the fucking table. That's my prediction. We lose a close one to UW and we run the table.
Yeah.
No, that's
I
that's
mean,
not, I could see that happening. Like I think I don't see it realistically happening that we lose to both Washington and UCF. But
really
I could
hope
very
that's
well.
the case.
Yeah, I just see the Boise State football like just in my. I can just see it. I can see us beating 10 ranked Washington Huskies. We're so excited, and then we fucking lose to UCF at home.
Yeah.
If we go undefeated or only have one loss, we can make a New Year's Six bowl.
You know, especially against 10 ranked Washington. Like if it's a close game and we can win out, which I mean, I think a win there is gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough too.
That Memphis game is gonna be tough.
Win. Oh, we don't play BYU this year, huh?
Yeah, because they're independent now, or they're
Big
or
12.
no, they're in the Big 12. Yep. So we won't be playing them.
I thought that was next year.
Yeah, they got in this year. Shit, man. I think BYU might shock a lot of people in the Big 12. They kind of looked they looked pretty decent last year.
Yeah.
But that Washington game, man, I'm a little nervous. I mean, Michael Penix, that guy's a great QB. He's a dual threat. He can sling it, but he can also run. And
He could be a Heisman
let's not forget
finalist this year.
Yeah, 100%. And let's not forget, Husky Stadium. That's one of the loudest stadiums in college football. That is going to be a tough game to play in. But there is no room to lose both of those games. I mean, we lose both of those games. That is just a complete, motivation, just complete down.
Our season's just I mean, we can win the conference, but
come back and play North Dakota, who's arguably one of the worst college football teams in Division I ever.
I'll just say this one thing, and then I want to hear your take for this year, and then I want to do after you say your thing. Let's all give what our final record's going to be before the Mountain West, after Mountain West Championship, not including a bowl game, but here last year in this time span, this is Hank Bachmeyer and I think Tim Plow. All these 4 games.
Yep.
After this game, Tim Plow and both Hank dropped out, and after that, I mean, we had 35-13 against San Diego State, which is a good team.
Mhm.
I know they didn't have Jake Haener, but still 40 points to 20. I mean, that's Jake Haener doesn't play defense, you know. It looked good. That was a little sad. 49-10. BYU's BYU. It's always going to be a close
That
game.
was a tough one.
41-3. That's
was
a little too
Parents'
close for
Weekend.
comfort. That's a good score.
JL Skinner
Mm.
won the Wyoming game for us. Like, let's be
He
real.
did.
Like,
Yeah, he did.
but yeah,
And
yeah. No, I'm excited for college football. I'm excited for LSU to beat Florida
Mhm.
State. But with that being said, I think how many games are this year for Boise State?
There's 12.
Yeah,
12?
12. Let
Yep.
me see on the schedule.
12. That's 12
Um,
before the Mountain West, 13 total. Correct?
I think we win the Mountain West this year.
I hope, dude.
And I think
mean,
we
if
only
it-
have one loss. Like
13.
I said my prediction kind of earlier. I think we lose
Yeah.
to Washington and we run the table.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
Win
my
out?
prediction. Win out after Washington.
Cody.
I hate to be that guy, but I try to be as positive as I can with this team. But we keep a lot of games too close sometimes. I think we're gonna lose to UW. I think we win out most of those games. I think it's gonna be. I think we beat UCF. North Dakota is a dub. San Diego State, I think, is going to be a dub. I think the Memphis game is going to be a little bit closer than we all think. I mean, it's in Memphis. That team, like we've seen in basketball, the athletics as a whole, they're fast, they're athletic.
Yeah.
They can get it done. San Jose State, I got a guy that I went to middle school with that plays for San Jose State, and I believe he's going to be their starting running back this year. San Jose State, I think, is going to be a lot better than we're going to give them credit for, and I think that's going to be a closer game. I think Colorado State, we're going to.
You're also going to think that's Parents' Weekend too.
I think San Jose State is going to be
also matters.
It's going to be a dub. I think it's going to be a lot closer than we think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Colorado State's a dub. Wyoming's a dub. It might be close. Wyoming, I feel like it's always a close game with them. At home, though, which is a good advantage. I mean, playing in Wyoming, it's not that big of a deal. They don't really get a lot of fans there, but it is
just cold as
I mean,
fuck.
Laramie, it gets negatives there. Fresno State, I think, is going to be a dub. New Mexico, Utah State, Air Force dub. I think it's going to be a little bit closer with the Air Force game just because I don't know how our run defense is going to be. I mean, we got that 4-star. I don't know if he's going to be starting, but we have DJ Schramm coming back. I'm kind of excited to see what he's done this offseason. I'm hoping he got a little bit faster. But we got Taylor Green, Riley Smith, and Ashton Gentry, who I'm super excited to see him run the football. Gentry, sorry, my bad. I always say I don't know what is it. I'm sorry, I always mispronounce
Ashton Genty.
Ashton
Jeanty. Yeah.
And he's from Texas. I'm not really sure what part of Texas he's from. I believe
Frisco.
Frisco area.
It was Frisco.
And I mean, my God, I think last year, I mean, he ran the football so fucking hard. I think he is going to be the best running back we see at Boise State since Jay Ajayi, in my opinion. I think that man runs the football hard. That Texas high school football kind of builds you for that. And I think he's going to run the table and he's going to have a hell of a year. I mean, our offensive line haven't really been looking.
Freshman of the year last year, I think.
He did. Freshman All-American, I believe. No, it was Ashton.
He was.
I think maybe true. I think it's true freshman Ashton Genty won.
Yeah, I believe it was him.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, he ran the football hard, man. So, but we're gonna get Sean to kind of fact check that real quick. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping our offensive line. In the last few years, I haven't been a huge fan. We got a few guys coming back. I think one dude, our left guard, comes in a tin roof all the time. I'm actually excited to see what he does on the offensive side. He's a big boy. I think he got preseason All-American. I'm not really sure what his name is. I always
forget. That I told you.
I believe older. I think he's an older guy. He might be a 5th-year senior. I'm not really sure, but he looks a little older. But then Garrett something. Yes, his name is Garrett.
Yeah, out of class with him.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does. I think our offensive line is going to be a lot better than it has been in the
Years
the
past.
last few years. I think they have to be. I mean, you got that, that running back core with Ashton and George Holani coming back. You kind of have to be. I mean, George Holani has had a good amount of injuries the last few years, but I think him and Ashton, I think they're going to run the table, and I think our offense is going to be good. Got Taylon Green back there slinging the rock. The wide receiver core, I'm a little bit nervous about. I'm hoping Billy Bones has a breakout season and he does what he needs to do. And then our defense, I mean, there's a lot of questions up in the air. But I think our defense is going to be a lot better. I'm hoping on the run. It looks like we got some size there and some more guys that are a little bit more athletic too. Dimitri Washington, who's our defensive end. I see him all the time on campus. He's looking big. He had a good season last year. I remember watching him, and I'm pretty pumped to see what he does this year. So I'm hoping, Boise State football. Yeah, he did. Yeah, like I said before, I'm hoping that we come out the gate hot and we keep on that trail and we win the Mountain West because we need to. If we don't, I think our head coach is gone.
Yeah, I agree. I think my prediction. I don't know if I want to. I think that this could happen, us beating Washington and losing to UCF, but I do still think that we beat North Dakota. Like, I just think it's like one of those things that we would do. I think it would, if anything, it would boost our stock, just having a win against Washington. Yeah,
little morale booster.
But we then beat North Dakota. San Diego State, I think, is a win. And then I think Memphis is going to be a tough game. I think in total for 13 games, I think we win the Mountain West, but I think that we go 11-2. I think we lose to either Fresno State, or that Memphis game that could sneak up on us, I think. But yeah, I think 2 losses, Mountain West championship, but a win against Washington. Because I mean, I've seen Boise State do it. We and Yaya both watched them beat a 10th ranked team in their house. Now that was BYU, and honestly, that game could be another episode because that game was not ours to win; that was theirs to lose. If anything, I wouldn't say that Boise State beat BYU last year. I think BYU lost to us.
They did
with all their stuff.
Yeah,
but
3 fumbles.
That last call.
We'll get into it in another episode.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. But worst of luck to them in the Big 12.
Where's
I
that
wish
last
nothing
year?
but the worst for them. That was not last. We lost them last year.
What was the last year? What was that call that we were all like, "Oh, that was bullshit"? Was it the touchdown one at the end?
Yeah,
BYU.
Yeah, that ate me up big time.
Yeah,
I think it was.
We thought he stepped out, but he didn't.
Dude. Yeah,
I don't remember that game, but yeah.
Yeah, that was a.
Sean was laying down on the bench.
Yeah, I was out for that game.
I was cussing, at the field like I with
he
shirt
had
off, probably
his shirt off.
You did. You were wearing Reagan's overcoat, and you had, I think, eyeliner.
Yeah,
BYU sucks on your stomach.
Little cigarette action.
That's not what it said, but I'm not going to say it on the pod.
I know exactly what it said.
I know what it said.
I think the group of people, you know what I mean, next to us weren't very happy with that message, but whatever. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? That's the game that I took 15 fireball shooters.
Oh, before?
No, throughout the night.
I remember those.
I had
keeping me warm
before the game.
That's what got me. That's why I was down.
And then
down for the count.
I kept having it with you. I was like, Sean, we gotta rip them. Because I remember I have a video with Ant, and him and I are both taking one, and I have one in my hat, just like at the ready, just like another one, because we snuck a bunch of them in.
Yeah,
but I had 15 that day, dude. I was down horrendous the next day.
Yeah,
but with that being said, I am excited for college football. I'm excited for Boise State football. More excited for LSU football, but that's different.
Yeah,
I
think for us moving forward, talking like sports wise, I think we should probably I want to talk about Boise State football. I know Zooch and Diego, I'm sure they'll talk BSU, but they're going to be a little bit more on the sicko shit, as Diego was saying. So if we just include some BSU stuff in our talk, and we're going to be going to the game, so we'll see everything.
Yep.
But yeah, next up, NFL season, that's going to be covered by Zach and Anthony. Those two are little rascals for NFL. They'll eat that shit up.
Oh yeah,
fantasy. I honestly, us three, it's honestly smart or just a blessing because I don't think any of us three really pay a whole lot of attention to the NFL.
Mhm.
Yeah, the only
Pay
time I'm
attention to the main
watching,
storylines. Yeah, you'll watch Niners.
I'm watching my boys, on Sunday, but I like I said before, I like the NFL. I do. I don't really pay attention to any other team but mine.
Yeah.
As far as college football goes, just for anybody that watches this video, look out for Diego and Zooch. They know a lot more than all three of us.
yeah.
They're gonna go down some rabbit holes. They're gonna
Yeah.
cover all the nitty gritty, the stuff that we don't know. So
You will
definitely
learn
look out for
something.
that. You definitely
Yes,
will
that
learn
will be
something new.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, let's throw it over to Zach and Ant, and we'll be right back. What's going on, everybody? We are back with the three boys here. We got Anthony. Raise your hand, Ant. Broken ankles, Ant. We got Zach and Keaton back. Zach and Ant, they just moved down to Irvine, California. How's it
Costa
moving
Mesa,
for
but
you guys? Costa Mesa, sorry.
Yeah,
Close
it's been
enough.
good, man.
How's
It's a
yeah?
really cool location. We're having a lot of fun
Nice.
so far.
It's really nice. We're
Yeah.
about 10, 15 minutes away from the beach. It's been
And
awesome.
Disneyland?
And Disneyland, that's like
We're about
30 minutes away.
25.
About 25 from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keaton's jealous. Look at that.
Fuck,
We've
man.
been once and Ant's already remembered the way to get there.
He's got it saved on his maps.
It's a
Yeah.
straight line, basically.
Yeah, cool. Keaton, how you been?
Good, busy.
Busy,
just
yeah.
banking.
Lots of work.
Lots of work. Yep.
Are you still working at Boise State?
Yeah, for like 2 or 3 days a week, but mostly BSC or ICCU.
Right.
What was that story you told me yesterday about the dining hall?
So Shohei Ohtani tore his UCL, which is the the ligament in your elbow that allows you to
That's
pitch.
what Brock tore. Block.
What?
Purdy. That's what Block tore.
Yeah. And I was serving food yesterday, and this kid was wearing an Angels. He was like wearing like an Angels hat, and I was like, "Oh man, you an Angels fan?" He's like, "Yep," and I was like, "Sorry," and just like handed him his food right as I said sorry. Didn't say a single other word, and he's like, and like walks off, and the girl behind him starts crying, laughing. She's in a fucking Dodgers outfit. And I'm like,
Oh,
oh
no.
yeah, dude. She's feeling it.
Oh no.
She gets it.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
All right. So yeah, good to see everyone is settled in and settled down in their own little apartment. No pun
Settled
intended there.
down.
But
Condominium, by the way.
Also,
sorry.
Ant, this is your first time on. How does it feel?
Yeah, it is.
It
Yeah.
is. It's
Shockingly, but
feels good
it
to be
is.
on here. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it feels good to be on here. Thank you.
Oh yeah, of course. So what they're
Well,
going to be
welcome.
doing, Keaton, Zach, and Anthony, they're going to be controlling our NFL with a little bit of fantasy side of the podcast. Their own show, which is called Settle Down in the End Zone, or just in the End Zone, a Settle Down production. Yeah, so they're going to be talking NFL and fantasy as well. It's going to be a good show. I'm excited for this. But my first question for you guys, I'm going to throw this to Anthony. You're the first one here. I want to see who your guys' breakout player of the year, who's going to have a big year this year that maybe didn't have a solid year last year, but who's going to be coming up.
So I have two people, but I think the main one I have right now is Calvin Ridley. He hasn't been in he left the league or something like that for a few years, and
He got suspended.
now he's coming back now, and he's been putting in work with the Jaguars, and I think he's gonna pop off, along with Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor, he didn't do too great last year. He did amazing the year before, and I think he's gonna come back and he's gonna run through people basically. That's what
I think
Yeah.
he's going to get traded to the Dolphins. That's my hot take.
You think so?
Yep. And I think
Even if he
the
gets straight to the Dolphins,
Dolphins
he's
do
still
that
gonna
too.
go off.
No, I think so too.
Well, Keaton, what
So
is your
Keaton-
pick for?
I know your team now. AFC South. And I like it.
Oh, okay. So I'm mainly gonna weigh on two players. So Cortland Sutton from the wideout standpoint. He just last year obviously was a horrible year for the Broncos, and he could not stay on the field himself. Jerry Jeudy had a very lackluster year, and honestly, for his stats, so did he. I mean, he did put up 800. He had 829 yards, but he only had 2 touchdowns. And he's known as like an end zone guy. So I think with the getting Sean Payton on that offense, maybe a Russell Wilson who actually shows up this year. I'm really excited, especially with Jerry Jeudy out. So The other player I had was Rashad Penny in Philadelphia, coming off a lot of years where he was really injured.
That's a homer pick.
It's not really a homer pick. He's got it. He's in a really good situation where he can be really healthy. Plus, they're going to run him as the second back, but we saw it with Tony Pollard last year, where they used him as the second back, and Tony Pollard was by far the best, arguably a top 5 running back last year.
Right.
So
That's fair.
That's fair.
yeah.
Zach,
what about you?
Cool. So I got 3, and I'll name them off now. I think it's going to be Alexander Madison, Brandon Ayuk, and DJ Moore. And so for Madison, I think it's kind of clear, like he's going to be RB1 now, and that might be a homer pick as well, just because he's from Boise State. But I think he's going to thrive in that offense, and honestly, that offense is going to be stacked. So I think he'll do really well. Talk about a homer pick with Brandon Ayuk. The hype has been real in the offseason, and I think it's going to get realer with the season starting. I think he's just going to go ballistic, honestly, with that offense, and I don't really see him not having 1,000 yards. And then DJ Moore, I think, just being traded to the Bears with that offense and that kind of being wide open for a good wide receiver, I think he's going to thrive as well, and I'm excited to see him do well because I really like him. Although I'm not a Justin Fields guy.
Yeah, neither am I. Ohio State sucks. Cool. That's good.
Big 10
Awesome.
sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Big 30. It's now the big. Oh no.
yeah,
Yeah, it's the big 30. Yeah,
whatever it is.
That's a
I
rapper.
was thinking big 12.
That's a rapper.
Yeah,
Big 30 is a rapper.
he is a big 30.
Yeah, he is. He is a big 30. Cool. Well, my next question for you guys would be a game that really changed your outlook on football and just kind of just one of those games that I don't know, made you fall in love with the game of football. Zach, I'm gonna throw it to you.
Yeah. First of all, when you had mentioned this question beforehand, I got really excited because I think this is a great question, but there's been a lot. There's been a lot that has pissed me off and a lot that has made me really fall in love with the game. But the one that first came to mind was the one that clinched the 49ers playoff chances in 2013 with Navarro Bowman pick sixing Matt Ryan. It's called Navarro Bowman's pick 6 at the stick, which I think is really cool. It was the last game there, and it clinched our playoff, which was really cool just to see and be a fan of. Ending kind of I won't say dynasty in Candlestick, but it definitely was a lot of success there, which was cool. So that is definitely my game.
This play right here.
Yep, this one specifically.
Oh wow.
You know what's
That's a
funny
big
about
boy.
you know what's funny about this
Hmm.
is while this game was happening, I remember this specifically because I was obviously rooting against the Niners,
Oh yeah.
and I was with my mom. We were in the car, and I was like, I had no way to play it because I didn't have like a smartphone. So I'm like listening to it on the radio, and I'm like, please, please, please. And then I hear Navarro Bowman picks it off, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, please, no.
Yeah.
I was fucking crying in my car.
Keaton, what's yours?
It's crazy.
So I've got a live and a like a viewed one.
Yeah.
So my live one was it's October 29th, 2017. It was Houston Texans versus Seahawks in Seattle. One of my first times going to the game. And dude, I mean, it was electric. If you look at the box score, it was 38-41. Deshaun Watson and Russell both had 400 plus yards. And DeAndre Hopkins went crazy. It was obviously Deshaun's rookie year, so I didn't really know much of him. But man, that literally, I think we won with like 8 seconds left in the game with a pass to Jimmy Graham, and it kind of just that fourth quarter was very lackluster for the team, and just coming back the way we did, it was like, oh my god,
That
I
was
fucking
live?
love this sport. Yeah, it was live.
That's so dope.
The other one was probably the 2011 Super Bowl, the year the Ravens won it.
Why is that?
Well, I think it was honestly, 2013. I think that was honestly a really good Super Bowl to watch because I think it just obviously my least favorite team lost. But also
Waiting
two
for it.
things.
That's one of
No,
those
no, no,
games
no,
I was
no.
mentioning that really pisses me off.
Yeah, but I did win money on that game. Going in, my mom was in Vegas. She was going to bet on the game. And this is right before playoffs started. And she was like, hey, I'm going to bet. Do you have a team you want me to bet on? And I don't know, something in my gut just said Ravens. So in the whole time I was just rooting for them because I know I was going to win like $200 if they won off like a $5 bet because they were not favored to win in any aspect. So that was cool.
That's
Plus
cool.
the lights going out in half the stadium.
Yeah.
Was it was weird.
That
cried
live
for
game-
10 minutes after that.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
Yeah,
What was, like,
I was
it
at
was
the
weird.
Berg's house, actually, and I remember just sitting there, and I'm like, please. I was praying, literally praying to God. I was like 2013. How old was I? 14. So I'm like
13.
Please, please. And I saw it happen. I remember just going like this. Literally cried for like 10 to 15 minutes, bro. And they're like, it's fine, it's just football. And I like stormed off. At this point, I was super competitive. Not to say I'm not now, but I was really competitive then. My dad walks over to me. He's like, son, there'll be another chance. It's okay. I'm like, no, there won't. And I was just throwing shit. I'm like, geez, man. It was bad. I will say, though, the Chiefs Super Bowl, that one was worse. Drunk, had to walk home from B-dubs. Not a word was said. Not a word was said. But yeah, there's definitely some games that I enjoy and some that make me want to hate football.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that one. I remember the Chiefs one, the Chiefs and Niners Super Bowl, walking back from B-dubs. You, Stewie, and Isaac, you guys were just a mess.
Oh, you guys
were
were, I
red.
think, right?
I don't remember Cody being there.
Four
I just remember seeing you
49ers fans, drunk as hell.
Yeah.
If Cody
What's
was
up?
there. If not, there was three. And then we had to walk home after choking a 10-point lead.
What about after that game, that electric game? Because I can imagine that would be like, what was the feeling, like the high you had after that game?
Oh, dude. What the Seahawks game?
Yeah, when you the live one.
Dude, I literally ran up and down the steps because my mom got pretty cool ass tickets.
Yeah.
We're like right on the 50-yard line, like 5 rows back from the actual bench itself. And so, but we're close to the stairs. So I'm standing outside of the seats on the stairs, just like watching the pass to Jimmy Graham. And it was like a 20-yard touchdown. And I literally ran up like 5 times. This fat ass 300-pound kid just, yeah, like fucking high-fiving everyone on the way up. Like I scored the touchdown. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It
That's
truly was the coolest moment of my life at that point.
Yeah, cool. Ant, what about you?
So I have two actually as well. I have one on television and one that I watched live. One on television was when the Patriots beat the Falcons and came back in that Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very great time, honestly, because I did not think they were going to be able to pull that off. And I just remember being at my uncle's Super Bowl party during that, watching that game, and just my mom, my dad, and I just being so happy that they won, and everyone else was just in shock that it happened. It was pretty funny. The second game, so the second one is the live game. It was actually in 2016 when the Patriots were playing the Niners at Levi's Stadium. My uncle asked me if I wanted to go to the Patriots game, and he was like, get an extra ticket, and I was like, yeah, I want to go. So, and we ended up sitting in the penthouse area, and it was raining and whatnot, and it was probably the coolest thing ever because every single person in Levi's was actually chanting Brady. And
Really?
yes, and it was actually one of the coolest things ever, just to see like even Niner fans like chanting like Brady, like it was super cool. And
Is that because they
honestly gave
wanted
me
him to
chills.
come to the Niners?
I don't know, honestly, but it was just
Probably.
he was gonna go. So probably, maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
How do you? Oh, keep going.
Fine,
Oh no, that was it.
Okay. I have a question. So I haven't been really following NFL, but I do know the Patriots have been iffy for the last couple of years. What's your opinion on them coming into this season?
Oh, we're gonna be last in our division. We're gonna be last. I'm just gonna say it right. Like
I wasn't sure. Yeah.
Mac
It's like the
Jones. Yeah, our offense I don't think is solid. Our defense is still gonna be great. Our offense, kind of more pointing towards Mac Jones on this. He hasn't shown improvement really, and coming out of his draft class, he was supposed to be the best quarterback coming out of that draft class. But now I'm looking at Trevor Lawrence, and I'm going, well, Trevor Lawrence is doing 1,000 times better than Mac Jones right now, and that was shocking. Honestly, that was very shocking. And if there's like no improvement with Mac Jones this season, then I think it's time to bench him and put in Bailey Zappi, and he's going to be our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, that's what's
And-
tough. I think that's what's
Yeah.
tough. I think about college football quarterbacks coming in, or just college football players in general, is they can be a total stud, but if they don't get any better, then I mean, like Patrick Mahomes is a good example of someone that, I mean, he wasn't a bad college. I mean, he was at Texas Tech. He was a good prospect coming out, but he just has gotten so much better as the years have gone on. So I think it depends. Yeah, just they have to get better. They can't stay stagnant in that college football role. And obviously it's a different game when you come out of college into the NFL, where you're coming against players that are all solid athletes versus, I mean, some of those players on those teams just are not. I mean, in college especially, like everyone in the NFL is a dog, and sometimes it's just not, it just doesn't translate well for people. So yeah, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, you have anything?
Also, I want to add one more thing to that live game.
Yeah.
It was just super cool as well, because I got to see Stephen Gostkowski play, Tom Brady play, Julian Edelman play, and Rob Gronkowski play all at the same time, all on the field together, and it was perfect. It was awesome.
Wait, what year was that?
2016.
2016. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Who won the Super Bowl that year? Was it them or no?
I honestly don't remember. Back to
They
the
don't know.
system. You guys can you look that up?
Yeah. Jamie.
Jinx.
It was Denver Broncos.
Panthers
won that
Broncos.
Okay.
year. Yeah, that was.
That's a good year to all those
infamous
guys that
fumble.
won. Yeah.
Was Peyton Manning still on the Broncos at that time?
Yeah, that was his last year. That was his
yeah.
last year. He retired after that year.
This just shows the pain since 2011.
My favorite moment right there. One of my favorite moments.
That had to have been your favorite fucking game too, man, or at least top 3.
It was up there. I just didn't get to watch all of it. So
my dad still doesn't blame Jimmy. I'm like, how do you not blame Jimmy? He's wide open.
I don't know.
Here we go, 2022. Oh, they didn't give us the 2021.
Oh, this was crazy, dude.
This was so bad. Now he's not playing for any team.
Brock Purdy, yeah, him getting hurt was. I think I watched that.
We watched that live.
Yeah, you guys. I was watching it at Lean Feast when that happened.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Tragic. Cool. Well, my next question would be a little bit geared more towards fantasy football. Who are some picks you guys can give for anyone that is starting their draft soon? Maybe some deep round, some sleeper picks. Keaton, let's go with you.
My first two are gonna my two. I've got Marvin Mims.
Ooh, I like that.
In Denver. Yeah, so obviously I said Cortland Sutton is one of my breakout players. I do think Marvin Mims is very, very, very good. We've already seen in preseason like what he's capable of, and obviously just has a much different outlook on that offense compared to last year. A lot more consistency, it already looks like. So I'm just, as long as Russell Wilson can perform well, I think Marvin Mims is going to be the guy. And hamstring injuries are very touchy. So who knows how long Jerry Jeudy's going to be out? It could be, week to. I mean, we saw it with. We saw it with AJ Green. AJ Green had a hamstring injury, missed the whole year, and then never really came back from that. And I think this is Marvin Mims' time to shine for a rookie. The other, he was from. Let's see, where did he get drafted from?
Ohio State.
He went to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Oh shit! I should have known that.
I know. The other player I got is running back. You might know him, Isaiah Pacheco. So Isaiah Pacheco was a rookie last year, a little bit older for a rookie, 4-year player. And I mean, this guy just is electric. I don't know of many running backs other than Tony Pollard who have that type of burst, especially when catching passes in the backfield, and maybe Christian McCaffrey. And with kind of what's going on defensively with Chris Jones, if they let him go, they're going to open up a lot more cap space and probably go for another offensive lineman or receiver. And even with their kind of lackluster receiving core, I think Isaiah Pacheco is going to be the guy that they're going to go to. And I think he's very capable, if healthy, to be that guy that gets 11 to 1,200 yards from scrimmage. So,
cool. Awesome. Ant, what's your pick?
I think the first one I have is actually Elijah Moore on the Browns. He was just traded to the Browns from the Jets, I believe. And the year before, he was doing really, really well. He was actually he was doing really, really well towards the end of the season 2 years ago. And then last year, he just kind of fell off, and he really was not getting the ball a lot. And now that he is on the Browns, Sean Watson and everyone there, I think that he's going to be a good 4 wide receiver, and I think he's going to get that ball a lot, honestly. And my second one I think I have is actually Justin Ross, wide receiver for Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Why is that?
Why?
I don't know. I think that, like, realistically, in my mind, whenever I'm thinking of a wide receiver core or a quote wide receiver core for the Chiefs, all I can really think of is Travis Kelce, and he's a tight end. And I think that Justin Ross, it looks like he was doing really, really good during preseason, and I think that he'll be able to. I think he's going to be able to get that ball a lot from Patrick Mahomes.
Get
Fair
that
enough.
ball. Nice.
Get that ball.
Zach, what about you?
Okay. I have 4 for this. So, like I said before, I think Alexander Madison, Brandon Ayuk, and DJ Moore are going to be good picks, but they're not my fantasy sleepers. Calvin Ridley is my first one. He's not really a sleeper, but I think he's going to go ballistic. He's in that new system, kind of like Ant said, and again, I think that just fits him perfectly. Damian Harris, I think, is going to go ballistic, I believe, with the Bills, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he'll go ballistic, but the Bills. That backfield's kind of wide open, and I feel like he's kind of proven himself with the Patriots. So I think he'll be a good pick to have in like the late rounds. And then I guess I have 3, excuse me. My last one is Darren Waller. When he's healthy, he's a top 3 tight end in the league. And I think with the Giants not having many wide receivers, he should get the ball a ton. So that is definitely a player that I would focus on and draft him.
Okay, cool. Well, good job, guys. I don't know much about fantasy football, so that's why you guys are the kings in that. But I will say Darren Waller. I remember last time I played fantasy football, he was a dog.
Yeah.
Especially a tight end. I mean,
He
I
just
don't know
can't stay
tight end.
healthy.
Yeah, I don't remember what year I played, but Darren Waller or the tight end position. That one, like that position is pretty weak. No, or like it's not.
So tough to draft.
Yeah,
There's
it's
typically
really
like
tough.
5 good tight ends, and that's it.
Yeah.
And
Travis
they're
Kelce.
extremely valuable. They're extremely
Yeah.
valuable in fantasy.
I would say your top
Trade 'em.
picks are.
Right.
Oh, sorry, Zach. I was gonna say I'd say
No,
the top
I'm-
3 picks for tight ends honestly would be Kelce, Hawkinson, and Mark Andrews. Like those
George
are
Kittle.
the top. George
Yeah,
Kittle,
there's-
Kyle
There's
Pitts.
only like 5.
Yeah,
Well, George
Yeah.
Kittle in the last 5 games had 7 touchdowns with clock. So that's why I say it. And
Yeah.
tight ends are typically touchdown heavy. So
Mhm.
if your tight end is getting a touchdown per game, or even, whatever that is, 7 divided by 5, 1 point something per game, that's going to be like 10 points plus whatever
Yeah.
receiving yards he gets. So that's definitely something that you should look out for as well.
Okay. How many fantasy leagues are you guys all in?
2.
I'm in 2.
I am about to be in 3 now.
Criminy crickets.
And now
Wow.
I'm in a dynasty. Ours that we have the past 5 years now, and then another one on Yahoo. I just
Okay.
got dynasty today.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, fantasy football is definitely it makes watching football even more fun. Honestly,
Yeah.
like
It
it
does
also
work
just I mean
Sunday.
It makes
That
you
too.
watch every single
Yeah.
game. You're not
See,
focused
yeah.
just on your team. You're watching
Yeah,
every
exactly,
game and looking
exactly.
at certain players.
Yeah.
And
That's why I think fantasy is great.
yeah.
'Cause
No, I think it. Yeah,
if it wasn't for
Hmm.
fantasy, I wouldn't be watching the fucking Houston Texans, which I think that might be someone's pick here. But the Houston Texans,
Yeah.
But if I have
That's
someone on their team, I'm like, all right, I'm rooting for them. But also, again, it's like your team is fucking good. It's pretty similar. It's the same feeling. It could ruin your
Yeah.
fucking Sunday, or it can make it.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
the best is when it's like 120, and you both have a player going into Monday Night Football. And it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
fuck. He's got a good ass
Yeah.
tight end. I got a good ass running back. It's like dead even. And now you're paying
Do you guys-
attention like a lot,
Yeah.
you know?
Do you guys? Because I have so kind of like that question I asked earlier about the best game you've watched this overall football experience. I'll tell a story about when I first started playing fantasy, or like maybe I think second year in. I think it was with Tin Roof people that I played with, and it was that kind of situation where it was super close, and it was like a tie game. I think I was losing by I forget how many points, but who's the Ravens kicker? Tucker. What's his first
Justin
name?
Tucker.
Justin Tucker. It was a Monday night. I think I was watching it by myself. Okay. And I was by myself, and I just remember watching, and I was like, oh my God, if he hits this, and it was like a 50+ yard field goal. And if he hit it, I would have won. And I'm sitting there like stressing because it's the first week, especially. And it went through, and I went absolutely ballistic. And that's what I loved about playing fantasy football, was watching that. Do you guys have any stories like that? That would be, I don't know, something that you were watching a game or anything that like kind of relates to that? Anyone?
Dude, I broke him.
Yeah, he did.
Anthony, you want to go ahead and start?
No.
Does anyone have a story like that? That could.
I'm sorry.
I do. I can't remember. God, I think it was like the last game of the year. I was still living at home, so before, I think it was in 2019, so it might have been our first or second year with that fantasy league, and I needed to get into the playoffs, and yeah, it was our second year, and I needed to get into the playoffs, and I remember specifically, I was down by like 8 points, and it was like going into the second half, I was projected to lose by like 5, and the opponent I was playing, his quarterback throws an interception. Okay, loses 2 points. I'm like, oh my God, this might happen. Kind of whittles down to like 4 total points left, but I have the defense of the team that's playing, and he's got the quarterback on the opposite team. And it's like 3.98 points. And literally almost one of the last plays of the game, he gets picked off. The quarterback gets picked off. So our team's flip-flop points, and I netted 4 points, and he lost 2. I ended up winning by like 0.02 points to make it into the playoffs. Wow. And it was like, dude, I think it was like the Steelers-Bucks type game. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. But it was Sunday Night Football, and I'm just, oh my fuck!
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So I just actually thought of a really funny story. So I used to draft in a league with all of my dad's friends' sons. So it was like Mahoney, it was Matthew Stepanek was in that league. There was a lot of them, but it was Matthew and Brian specifically there, like early talking about fantasy. We pulled up. Matthew got the second pick in the 2013 draft. It was the first time he's ever drafted, ever. And I believe Matthew's a Seahawks fan, but he walks up, and we had like these little stickers that would have the names. You just rip it off and you put it on the board. And the board would like send it to everyone. Yeah. So he walks up and he puts the name on it. Everyone's like, "Who the fuck is that?" And he turns around and he's like dead serious, and everyone like starts kind of laughing. We're like, "Who the fuck did you pick?" Mind you, in 2013, like this was when Jamal Charles was raw, LaShawn McCoy, Matt Forte, dude. He went up Percy Harvin.
Oh, dude.
In 2013, but Percy Harvin. And we're sitting there like, what the fuck, dude? What are you fucking doing? Whole fucking rumor erupted. But I just remember him being so embarrassed. I'm like, see, that's fantasy right there. Like, you live and you learn. Not an actual game that like impressed me or like got me into fantasy, but it's just funny moments like that, you know? Like I feel like Isaac's punishment with IHOP, that was pretty funny. Punishments are fucking hilarious.
I don't know if you guys saw this. I saw this. There's this dude that was, I don't know what city. He was in a big city, but he was on the side of the street, and he was playing a recorder and had a sign next to him that said, "I lost my fantasy football league. This is my punishment." And he had to play out there, and there was like this little girl that gave him like a tip. He had like a hat out there, but he
had to get like
$15
in tips or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had to get like a certain amount of money and then walk away with it.
Damn.
That's so
well,
funny.
I mean, I guess I would take that punishment.
Dude, I saw one that was foul as fuck. So
what?
The loser has to grow out his pubes for a full year.
Oh, I saw this in the box.
And they have like this little box, probably like 4 inch by 4 inch. Like it's not very big at all.
That's
at the end of the year, he has to. Okay. At the end of the year, he has to shave it all off. shove it into this box. Mind you, it might be small. That it was probably like 3 by 3. Like he shoved his pubes in it. I saw the picture afterwards. And then the loser of that next year keeps the trophy and just keeps going, cycles through.
And it
And
cycles
so-
through. And yeah, continue.
Go for it. Go for it.
Oh,
No,
I was
no,
gonna
you
say,
probably-
and then so then after like they would receive that, like the loser would keep that box full of the pubes, and they would have then that loser would still have to grow out his pubes. He couldn't shave, and then when it comes time, he then shaves it, dumps out those pubes, and puts his pubes in, and
Oh,
then that's how it keeps going.
What if you
This
lose
box
twice in a
was-
year? You just keep your own
That's
pubes?
what
You
happened.
keep
He
going.
said that.
It was
he said that.
Yeah,
He said
he said that. He
he's
was
shoving
like, yeah.
them in there for 2 years, and this box is overflowing. Like there's like little like let's just say this is the box, and like it's open like that. There are pubes coming out, like just curly pubes just falling
so
out.
gross.
So they
You
couldn't
stand to
couldn't
the next
shave
person.
they
couldn't
couldn't
shave
shave
for a
the
whole
entire year.
The entire year
Imagine
until the
hooking
next
up with a
draft.
girl. Imagine hooking up with a girl and being like, "Sorry,
I lost in fantasy.
there's nothing I can do."
Or what if they're
Just want
married?
to
Like,
avoid-
yeah. Yeah,
It
Oh,
would be
dude.
better. It would be better if you were.
yeah.
It would be, bro. Like a random girl, that would suck. Having to explain that.
Yeah. That would suck,
yeah.
honestly.
Punishments are
Cool.
really fun as well. I think it's
Yeah,
just a
I think
tradition thing.
fantasy. Yeah, fantasy football. I think is obviously the most popular and probably the best one out of all the fantasies you could do. I think by a mile. I like fantasy football, or baseball personally, but that's a different story. But yeah, I think fantasy football. Honestly, it's a great way, and I think honestly, fantasy football is the easiest to manage. I would say. I think all the other ones are like too like almost aggressive sometimes.
far.
I've done fantasy hockey before. I've done fantasy basketball too. Fantasy soccer I haven't done yet. I got to check that off the box, I guess now. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I don't know brings everyone together, and yeah, everyone plays. So cool. Well, my next question is back to the NFL. What are your guys' pick for one team, maybe like a dark horse, into making the playoffs? Not someone that like not everyone thinks is going to make the playoffs, but you're like, I don't know, keep an eye out for them like that. Ant, what is your pick?
So after looking at it, I think I'm going to go with the Steelers in the AFC North. Reason for that is because I think the Browns are still going to need a lot of work before they actually reach playoffs. Personally, Ravens, I'm just a hater of the Ravens. I don't like Lamar Jackson. Yeah, exactly. I fucking hate him. I don't really see any huge. I don't see any huge like power weapons that they have. Like I don't see a lot of that. Bengals are going to be first in that division, and I think Steelers are going to be the second, headed into the playoffs. That's what I think. I think. What Kings?
Oh no, I was just gonna say never underestimate Kitten Mittens Pickens.
Yes.
So.
Yes. But yeah, I think. But yeah, no, they have Kenny Pickett. I think Deontay Johnson's going to do a lot better this season. They have Pat Fryermuth. I think, and they also have Najee Harris. They have a lot of power weapons on their offense, and I think they're going to do very well this season. And they have George Pickens. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a dark horse. That was his Pittsburgh Steelers. Zach, who is your dark horse team that you think might make the playoffs? That
I had 3 that I chose from. I think
Pick one.
Houston is there, maybe 4 actually. Houston, Lions, Broncos, Commanders. But if I was to pick one from there, I would pick the Commanders.
Okay.
The reason for that, I think their offense got a lot better in the offseason. They did have a really good offseason, picking up some key players, and their defense is stacked. Like they are stacked everywhere on the defense. Yes. So they have Chase Young, Darren Payne, Jonathan Allen, and Montez Sweat, who all got Pro Bowl votes or were Pro Bowlers. They have David Mayo, who's been a good linebacker for a while. Cody Barton's been a good linebacker for a while. They have Kendall Fuller, Derek Ford. Like they're just stacked on the defense. Like I said, like David Mayo and all of those linemen in general have been really good for the last 5+ years. So I think they're going to be one of the better defenses in the league. And then on offense, I'm honestly a believer of Sam Howell. I think he's going to do really well. I love their wide receiver core with Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, and Curtis Samuel. And obviously, Brian Robinson Jr. didn't really get to show himself last year just because he had some off-field stuff. But I really like him as well. And I think that's the team that I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna go over to Keaton. What is your dark horse? I guess the last one.
Yeah, I'm
Someone
gonna
dancing.
switch it up a little bit. I'm gonna go to the NFC South, and I'm actually gonna take the Atlanta Falcons as my dark horse
Wow.
sleeper team.
Ooh.
That's not
Okay.
what I thought you were gonna say.
Okay, so Falcons. Let's bring a little stat. Falcons have not made it a playoff appearance since 2017. They haven't won their division since 2016, so they are due. However, if you look at what they've done the last 2 years, they actually could have easily had a winning record both back-to-back times. But last year they were fourth in the NFC South. But they lost more games in the fourth quarter than any other team. So it's not that they don't have the talent. It's that I believe they lack the mentality of how to win, which is holding them back. They did obviously lack talent, which is what I think the Falcons focused on, specifically on offense. They brought in like Bud Dupree defensively. Calais Campbell's now on that team. They brought in Trey Flowers from Cincinnati. Jesse Bates is now there. But if you also look at who they brought in offensively, Desmond Ridder is kind of a question mark. I don't know if he's going to be great. But you do have Bijan Robinson from Texas, who I think is going to be fantastic. Drake London from USC, who also is going to be lights out. A rejuvenated Cordell Patterson, who can take a little bit of a load off with Bijan, and Kyle Pitts, who, if they can utilize him right, can easily be a top 5
Should
wide
be
receiver
decent.
because he's
Yeah.
but they don't utilize him right. So
Tyler
I
Algier is
also
good too.
there's a
He
lot.
ran for
I think
1,000 yards. Tyler
Yeah.
Algier is a fucking dog.
there's a little bit of question marks outside of the offensive line, specifically in the wideout, like JJ Arcega-Whiteside and Penny Hart, both kind of unproven guys. I'm not sure if they're going to be, those standouts for the second stint. But dude, their schedule this year is cake, man. Obviously, they're already playing in an NFC South that is kind of weak, besides the Falcons or besides the Saints. I don't love the Panthers this year, but they play the Lions, which might be tough. But then they play the Texans, the Commanders, the Bucks, who are using Baker as their starter. Then they go to the Titans, who I'm not sure about them, and then they got Vikings and Cardinals, and then back to Saints, Jets, Bucks. I think it's a coin flip, but I think that division is going to be shit. You could be one game over 500 and win that division, or at the very least, like, make the wild card. So,
Yeah.
Can I add
What
something
do you
to
guys
that?
think? Yeah.
Keaton, what's your opinion on Bijan Robinson being the third string right now?
I think he's just had a brutal preseason, but I also feel like they don't necessarily need him with how good Cordell Patterson was last year.
Okay.
Kind of
And
like I said, and he rejuvenated his career, but I really think Bijan can be that guy a little bit later. Also, it's weird seeing guys that were born in 2002 now rookies in the NFL.
Fucking
It's
scary.
like,
That's a grown ass
fuck, dude.
man.
It is weird.
We're so old. We're so old. But I mean, dude, obviously he was the first running back taken off the board.
Shit, dude,
So
that's crazy.
he is
What
going to be
is-
very special.
What is also your opinion on people literally picking Bijan Robinson in the first round in fantasy? Literally, and I'm talking like pick 5 or 6.
I don't trust.
That's too
I don't trust non-receiving running backs in the first round. That's I unless you're Derrick Henry.
Yes.
And he is not one of those guys that is just going to be catching passes in the backfield. That's just not who he is.
Mhm.
He is a power back. He's just down and dirty and nasty. He's very short and stout, but dude, that guy is an angry running back, and he runs like it. So
Yeah.
5'11", 216. The guy's literally just a corn
He's a
stalk.
bowling ball. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
big boy.
bowling ball.
He is fast
So-
as fuck up.
He is. He's very
He is.
shifty too. He's very much
So-
like, in my opinion, closest outlook is just Saquon, just in the size and build, just not as the strength.
Okay. Where would you say people should pick Bijan then in fantasy?
I'd say
What
wait
round?
till probably second or third, depending on where he. It also depends on how many people you have in your league. If you have like a 8 to a 14, completely changes. In an
That's
8-man, he could be a third or fourth round pick, but in all the way up to a
Let's talk-
14 or
let's-
16,
I'm
saying
talk 12 then.
12, I'm taking him second or third round.
We'll never
I
get
think
there,
there's-
unfortunately.
No, but I think there's other running backs that I would entrust my time with.
Right.
Yes.
So
So I have one more thing before we end this. Do you guys remember when we played BYU in 2021? And I believe they were home and the Broncos were away, but we beat them 26-17. Was that the game you guys went to?
Yeah, that was the game I went to. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Tyler Algier, who's the running back that I've been saying from the Falcons, he played against us. And I was like, dude,
BYU?
that last name sounds so
That
familiar.
last
So I just
name,
looked it
yeah.
up. I just looked it up, and he was the starting running back there.
Oh
way.
shit!
That's crazy.
I was gonna
isn't
say
it?
like that name. I've
Oh.
heard that name. I thought he was just
Yeah.
like NFL.
Yeah,
Like I
last
thought he was
year.
just popular.
I'm pretty sure he had 1,000 yards last year. Because he was my flex for a while. Let's see.
damn, they brought in Jeff Okuda as well.
Yeah, last year he had 1,035 yards. That's wild.
Wow.
That's impressive.
So yeah, that offensive
Crazy.
line is definitely good.
That's cool. Well,
Oh, yeah.
before we wrap it up, I do want to ask any final, any thoughts you guys have on the season, what you're excited for, or any like storylines going into it that you're going to be excited for. I know those kind of develop throughout the season, but like anything that you guys like, let's do this. Let's one thing that you guys are really excited for in the season, maybe your NFL favorite team, but like, I don't know, just anything.
I'm just excited to watch football again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's fair.
I'm just
No,
saying.
go.
I'm just excited to start watching football again. Miss it. Hockey's done now, so and playoffs for baseball aren't here yet, and I'm just kind of craving football at the moment now.
Go
Yeah,
Bruins,
sports-
right?
Sports
All
have been.
We don't
Sports-
need to talk about that.
I will
cry.
say, I will say sports in the past. I mean, baseball is always on and it's fun, but it's just not like each game doesn't. I like watching like rivalry matchups, but I don't know. Sports lately haven't been like it's just been dead. That's just how
Yeah.
kind of July and August is. But I'm excited. Did you guys watch any called like week 0 games?
No.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of the Louisiana Tech game last night.
Shanks Stackmeyer.
Yeah, I literally put something like Shank Stackmeyer or whatever I said, and then instantly threw an interception. I'm like, yes.
He
feel
didn't
like
have a
that-
bad game though. He had,
no,
I mean,
330. He was like 70% completion and
330?
a touch, 330 yards. Yeah, one touchdown,
decent
one
game. And they
interception.
won?
they
yeah.
won.
They came back.
One
on it.
touchdown, one interception, 330 yards. That's not bad. And
No
you know what?
shit.
Good for him. Let him. He can. I think he has another year after this year too.
I don't know.
So
Dude is literally the.
if he
he
balls
is the-
out,
He's the Drew Timmy of.
he is.
So
Yeah.
So this video that I'm about to share, I just found a really funny video. But this I believe was 2020. I remember in this game, Cody is screaming, "Stop the run! Stop the run!"
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is last year.
I don't remember what year this was. It said 3 years ago, but it could be wrong.
wait,
I
were
don't
they
remember what it
7-0?
was,
Were they 7-0 and we were 2-0?
Oh, that was
Yeah.
2
Oh
years
my
ago. That was
God.
that was
That was COVID year.
2020. Yeah,
But
because we were not ranked
Cody's
last year.
big thing when he's watching that was Kobe year then.
Yeah.
Big thing when he watches the Boise State football games is stop the run.
Yeah,
Dude.
And I
Well,
remember, I don't know if we
stop
were
the
there
run.
or if we were
It was
like at
the
Endzone
it
or
was
something,
the Air
but I
Force
remember
game
him
too.
being pissed, bro.
Yes.
And then
I
that
think it was
happens,
the
he just turns around. He just turns around and he's just like
Yeah.
throws his hat. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude.
yeah,
You're
but there
not
was
out
also
there.
the Air Force game too that he was like
Yeah,
that.
the Air Force one was so bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was
He
so
was not a
bad.
fan of
Sorry.
that.
I found that and
Um,
wanted to show it.
I'm excited to see Jordan Love, see what he can do with that team. He's looked really, really good in preseason, so I'm really excited.
See how
And then I'm excited to see what Geno can do. Obviously, coming off a year where he was like shockingly amazing, getting a fat contract, getting a new getting a new wide receiver, and then a new offensive lineman, and a running back. I think he's going to be a really good player. But really, what I'm excited for, on top of the return of football, is the Oh, cool. I completely lost my train of thought, so never mind. We'll stick with Geno Smith.
Geno Smith. Okay.
We'll
I
stick
do
with
have one
Geno.
last thing.
Yeah. Go
You
ahead.
guys realize that this football season will be the first football season that we will not be seeing Tom Brady be playing in anymore?
That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
This is the first
Really
season
do
that
that.
we won't be seeing him play.
He's been playing
That's
since
crazy.
I think all of us have been born, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
That's
Rest in
wild.
peace,
Pretty
or not
so-
rest in peace, but
Just
Rest in peace.
have a
Tom
good
Brady.
retirement.
It's just-
Yeah.
it's just becoming, we're just getting to the end of that era.
Yeah,
The next
no,
one
it
to
is.
really go, the next one to really go out of that group would be Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, no, he is a big one.
Yeah.
I think
I
he's the
s-
last one left.
I saw this.
Kirk?
It really
No.
is.
No, I think it's Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, Matt Ryan, maybe?
I don't know if I can find this video. It was a Twitter video, so I'll probably struggle. But let me see if I can find this.
I think okay for the Niners, from what I've gathered from all you guys talking about, I think it's not necessarily like a Cowboys thing of this is our year. It's more of like we have a good team and we need to win.
Yeah,
what did you say?
no.
You have a 5-year?
5-year window at best.
Yeah.
I think it's 3 to 5, but
I
we're
think
pretty
it's
young,
3.
and
Yeah, I think 3.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. They're pretty young.
No,
Oh.
I think it's 3 to 5. If we weren't good in 5 years, I'd be kind of shocked.
Hold on. Let me share this video real quick. Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold both get hurt by week 4. Trey Lance. Oh, finally. Now I can show everyone I have to do what it takes.
Oh my
And
God.
you can't hear the audio. You can't hear the audio, but it's the Stone Cold Steve Austin intro.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
Dude,
That's
I
funny.
was crying laughing at this.
Yeah.
This is obviously right before you got traded, but
all right,
so-
boys. Well, we'll say thank you for doing all this for everything.
Mhm.
Everyone listening, be sure to watch out for this episode right now will come out. We're filming this on Sunday. This will probably be out Monday for the new week. Their stuff will probably be out in a couple days. So if you're listening to this, be sure to check us out. We're all going to be on the same page together. So just click around, you'll find it. But it'll be probably Wednesdays with a lot of our, I think majority of our podcasts are going to come out on Wednesdays, being honest. But yeah, so just keep your eye out. Follow them on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram, Settle Down. But yeah, we'll kick it back to the show. And yeah, this is Anthony, Zach, and Keaton, and this is the Settle Down in the End Zone. All right. Yeah, I'm excited for that football one as well. They're definitely more just they play fantasy too. Like I don't even play. I think Cody's doing fantasy this year, but I do like fantasy baseball usually. So that kind of intersects, and I don't really want to pay attention because honestly, the fantasy baseball is a lot of fun, and it is right when football starts is right when like right now is very serious in fantasy baseball because this is like my crunch time.
Your playoff time.
I will say when hockey was going on, I was not paying attention to my baseball team. Didn't give a shit. We're just watching playoff hockey the whole time. Playoffs ended, and I was like, okay, I should probably pay attention to this team. I'm last right now. That was what was that? June. I am now currently in playoff contention, and I have won.
Bringing it back.
So, yeah, from May 8th till June 11th, I did not win a single game. That's pretty much hockey time there. I had one win May 1st to May 7th. Oh, I had one win from March 30th all the way until June 11th. I had one win.
Damn.
Since then, since June 12th till as of right now, I've had one loss. So, doing pretty hot.
Damn,
But-
Complete flip of the
Oh, yeah.
switch.
Complete
Knock
flip.
Out, knock out
Yeah.
some wood, boys.
I knew it. I had a good team. But I just didn't pay attention to it. But yeah, I'm 6th right now, which is the cutoff for playoffs. So we're gonna keep paying attention to that and hoping and praying. But yeah, other than that, I think we're ready for this new season of stuff. And yeah, just keep an eye out for stuff. We're gonna be coming in hot with clips and shit and posting
YouTube
stuff.
as
So
well,
you
I
guys,
think, 'cause-
yeah, YouTube, yep, everything.
If you guys, and not you two, but anyone watching, if you want to come on the pod, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. It's a
Uh,
lot easier.
If it's a lot easier. If you want to have your own show, we can make that happen. Let us know. Let us know if you want something.
Yeah, we
make it
are
happen.
our main goal is to
Just
our
to
main
blow
goal
up
in
and act
this
like I don't know nobody. Riff raff.
our
What a
like
guy.
vision in this is to have ours, right? We're doing ours. All these other ones are just our experience. We have experience with this and can help people do stuff. But we just want to have like a big web of people that are doing this. I think for now we're just going to stick with these two while we can for the first couple months, figure it out, work out all the kinks, and then from there, just anyone that we just want people that want to do it. That's our biggest thing. We don't want. We're not like. We just want people that are like inspired to do so and want to keep making a podcast because it's a lot of fun.
Definitely.
But yeah, any closing remarks, boys?
Just one. Yeah, if you're wanting to come on the podcast, if you guys are following us on Instagram, have our Snapchats or any social media, hit us over the messages, hit up the DMs, and let us know. And we could probably figure that out and get you on. So,
or even any of the other shows too. Like that's the beauty of it is like with this StreamYard now that we're using, it's gonna be a lot easier to have people on from your own home. Maybe we'll do little like ones in our living room and stuff here and there when we can. But for the sake of the easiness, I mean, this is episode 12. We got pretty far. Honestly, this is further than most people get in podcasting.
I agree.
12 episodes. I think once we hit 15, that's a big marker. Just to the grind and stuff. So yeah, everyone, keep an eye out and settle down.
Perfect way to end it. Just end it right there.
Yeah.
That was lit.
Should we end it right there or should we end it right here?
Settle down.